In 1987, The Princess Bride was released to modest reviews and limited box office success. In the intervening years, it's become a cult classic and one of the most quotable films of all time. In this episode, we put a spotlight on The Princess Bride. What makes it so popular? Does it still stand up? Was it the peak of Rob Reiner's career? And why has Brett never seen it? This is the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 60, Spotlight on The Princess Bride.
Superman.
Hello and welcome to the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 60, Spotlight on The Princess Bride. I'm your host this evening, and as ever, I am joined by
Brett Summers and Paul Hawkins.
So, as the title suggests, along with our news roundup and a look back at what we've been watching over the last week, we're going to put the spotlight on the 1987 cult classic, The Princess Bride, and tell you why it's one of the best films out of the 80s.
Or is it?
Indeed, or is it?
Yeah.
I'm sure Brett's got something to say about that, but we'll come to that much later. But before all that, Brett, Paul, what's been going down in Groovetown? How have we been doing this week? Anything exciting happening outside of the world of TV?
Went to the zoo.
Zoo. I didn't come to.
You didn't? No.
Yeah,
so saw some animals. Walked.
Any
Lots of walking.
Yeah.
Any particular animals that were good?
Well, they don't have elephants.
Do they not?
No.
They call themselves a zoo and they don't have elephants.
Shell delights in the fact that Dublin Zoo has elephants, but Marwell doesn't. Tigers never really make an appearance. They're always lazy,
Well, they're
dying
lazy
around.
asses, aren't they?
Yeah.
Baboons?
Don't remember seeing baboons.
Any kind of monkeys at all?
Yeah. A few. Penguins are good. Like penguins.
Yeah, they were my next thing, yeah. It's penguins, monkeys,
Rhinos are cool.
maybe like snakes and stuff.
Watching those big dinosaur-like things just walk around, that's quite cool.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but that was about it.
It's all about the horn with you, isn't it?
And now, obviously, getting ready for a long weekend. Well, hey, God bless your Majesty.
Yes, we love the Queen.
Well, I do particularly this weekend. 4 days.
Woohoo, 4 days off. Happy days. What about you, Mr. Summers?
He's
This
always
week's-
off. He's a teacher.
Well,
That's true, yeah.
it was half term anyway, so I'm really excited about the 4 days off.
Well, you got an extra day, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. But what is nice is that I might actually be able to see friends on the days off now, because normally it's half term. And
What, the whole series?
No, but yeah, no.
All of
No. But like normally it's like, oh, you got half term off, you got a whole week off. Yeah, but I've got no one to spend it with, unless there's other teachers that've got nothing going on, because everyone else is at work. So,
What,
yeah,
no one wants to hang around teachers?
Well, none of the other teachers clearly want to hang
Yeah.
out with him.
No, they're all off skiing and on yachts and things, and
Or in the south of France,
Yeah.
where
Well,
all
Don't get him
teachers go
started
to
on the South
retire.
of France thing again.
Or on holidays.
boule, whatever it's called.
That's right.
Yeah, see, I'm cultured and shit. Speaking of that, no, I'm not even getting into that. That stupid decision that was made to do.
Yeah, we're all still licking our wounds from that decision.
City of culture, my arse.
Indeed.
But yes. Anyway, I am now officially qualified to the level of level 1.
Oh, so you got your certificate, did you?
As a freestyle British wrestling referee.
Cool.
Does it really need referees, though?
This is like Olympics and all that stuff.
Yeah, does it really need it, though?
Yeah.
There's no chairs in that or
know,
throwing them on tables, is it?
But shockingly, I won't be able to ever do the Olympics because I'm over 40.
Surely that's ageist, isn't it?
Well, you can't be a referee if you're over 40.
Apparently, no, not in the world stage. Which
So that's
is,
the Olympic rules. You can't
this
referee
is
in the
freestyle
Olympics.
wrestling, but apparently at world level, you can't be over 40.
Oh, so it's not an Olympic rule. It's
It's
a
world
world.
It's a
championships
world-
as well.
It's like
Right, yeah.
the world organisation as agreed by all the countries in it.
So you don't get.
or-
There's not a lot of window of opportunity there, is there?
Not at 45, no.
No, but what I mean is, what's the youngest you can be?
I guess 18.
Yeah, so you've got like 22 years.
Well, I
of a-
guess a lot of it is because of at that level, like how fast and how quick they are. You know, you've got the idea would be you have to keep up with it. I guess.
What? And referees in hockey or football or...
I'm only trying to think of the rationale behind it.
I'm
Don't
almost
hate
fe-
on the player.
Yeah, I'm not. I almost
Hate
feel
the
like
game.
Hate
we
the
need a petition or
I'm
something.
not the player, I'm the referee. But yeah, so that's cool. And
Well,
that
why'd
can
you do
be-
it then?
So I can be a referee.
But you can't.
Well, I can. I just can't. Like I was ever going to the Olympics anyway.
Yeah, no, but
Let's get that straight to start with. If I'm going to the Olympics, I'm carrying the drinks.
where's your goal now?
Just to like
Well, yeah,
The
do it
local
well.
area.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the whole point behind it was at our club. We got it coming on. We're going to be doing tournaments, you know, and helping the kids and doing it for the kids and the community and all
The
that.
kids. Seriously. Yeah, I'm just feeling bad. Feeling sorry for you. You can imagine it. Yeah.
Just because he's got interests outside of TV
No, I know,
and
but
whatever that
he's
end of world
the-
war game thing it is you play, Enden level one, whatever
Elden
it is.
Rings.
That's the one.
I don't play that. I'm not a nerd.
That's what I mean. You have interests outside of.
I know, but
I play Horizon
cut.
Forbidden West. That's totally different.
cut to Brett in like 4 years' time. He's refereeing at like the regional finals. He's seen all these wrestlers come up the ranks and stuff. The finalists of that go through to the world championships. Cut to Brett with a little tear running down his cheeks that he's never going to be able to go.
I can go. I just went round.
Well, they're not
To
going
be-
to let you just turn up, are they?
To be fair, though, I don't think I want to do the World Championships. The level of scrutiny and the eyeballs on you. Imagine you get something wrong on the Olympics and 80 million zillion people are watching you worldwide just as you did the wrong thing, or you farted as you pointed or something like that. You know, like just, I don't want to be a clip-on question sport for the rest of my life.
What happened next?
Yeah. Get hit by a streaker or something.
Yeah, fair enough.
We'll get you
Okay.
on the world stage one day, Brett.
But that's the level one. There are 3 levels, I believe. But yeah, it's a start. It's something to do. And
That's the end as well,
give
isn't it?
them back. I can still compete.
Hmm. Well, you're not even competing. You're refereeing.
Yeah, but I could
You haven't got your
still do it.
certificate to compete yet.
That's catch wrestling. That's a different discipline.
That you haven't got.
I can still do it. I just need the level 1.
There is no.
Have you filmed your video yet?
They're preparing for the World Championships at the moment.
which you can't go to.
No. I wouldn't be going for their World Championships. I'd come back with no arms, no legs.
But that's
Especially in my
the
division,
Paralympics, isn't it?
I would be. Yeah, well, I'll try that one. I would need it after theirs. When I would be like the smallest guy in my category,
Okay.
and I'm not small. Some of those guys are like, and are proper like
Andre the
guys-
Giant type.
No, it's the guys coming over who are like the heavyweight in like Olympic style and mixed martial arts. There's people from like Tom Con Watson, one of the like UFC
You're saying
guys.
these names like we know who
Yeah,
they are.
but the
Sorry,
people-
I just shut off.
But the people listening will.
Okay.
He said something like
Maybe.
Hong Kong Fooey.
No, Tom Con Watson. Like people who've been in the UFC and that are coming to
on
compete
the
in
Venn
these world
diagram of people that watch wrestling, catch wrestling, and listen to this
Yeah.
podcast, one of them overlaps or something.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right, Lee.
He's got the certificate. He can wrestle.
But yeah, basically, I would just be like the jobber guy who's in the ring already with no music in a washed out kit.
Yeah.
And then the other guy comes in and just dismantles him.
Cool.
Okay.
I'm under no
Okay.
illusions.
Cool. Well,
But yeah,
I'm
that
glad
was
that's
my
cleared
dream.
up, Yeah.
What about
I
yourself?
kind of wish I never asked now, to be honest.
You started it.
I did, didn't I? My week has been mostly taken up with dismantling a. I can never pronounce this word right. It's a bit like werewolves.
Marriage? No?
Pergola.
Pergola?
Pergola. Something like that. I watched Charlie Dimmock on the TV the other day, and she
All
called it a
right,
pergola.
Damien. Perv.
Pergola.
She's not a nice
Pergola.
person.
Is she not?
Oh, come on. What? What's up with Charlie Dimmock?
Don't know. Probably dissed him on a bus or something.
Yeah.
No, many years ago when I redid the Superdrug in, is it Romsey where she lives? It's round here somewhere.
Yeah.
Is it one? And she came and opened it. And bearing in mind that at that point, years ago, it was her and
Alan Titchmarsh.
Titchmarsh, wasn't it? And Yeah, you'd have thought she'd won an Oscar.
Maybe
Well,
she was just
just
getting
having a bad
into the
day.
part, you know?
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I spent the week
Did to me.
dismantling a pergola or a pergola
Pergola.
and sanding wood and stuff like that.
Wipe on, wipe off.
No, I bought a machine to do it. It's,
Oh, okay.
it's much more
she
fun.
was no Michaela Strachan.
Fair enough.
Let it go.
Right. So that's that out of the way.
Cool.
Should we get on the TV?
That took longer than you expected,
Yeah,
didn't
much
it?
longer.
We
Getting
never normally
stressed.
talk about anything.
No.
You made me expand, and I was quite happy doing that one sentence. You
Well,
pulled it apart.
for a split second, I was intrigued, and now I really wish I hadn't been.
That's right. You can cut it out.
Yeah.
Shame if you did.
So I'm going to go to you first, Paul. What delights have you been watching this week?
The Box of Delights. So Billions season 6 or whatever is available to rent. So we've been making our way through that.
What's Billions?
The Brian Cox thing?
No.
No. Oh, Damien
Yeah.
Lewis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's not in it anymore.
No, I know.
Yeah. We've spoken about it before. It's about like a rich, power-hungry magnate that the DA...
These kind of people.
The DA wants to take down. So they basically have battles for years and years and years.
Rings a bell.
It's quite good. I don't
When
know.
you say they have battles, I had visions like with crossbows and catapults. Remember that game?
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was brilliant, that game was.
Yeah,
That should come back. I could set one up in here.
Would that count?
Awesome.
Would that count as selling weapons to children nowadays? Because you can't get well, you're not supposed to get the little plastic bullets anymore, are you? And all that. But
No.
you still can. There's shops all along waterfronts that have had them hung up for 20 years.
Yeah.
They're still on sale.
Faded plastic.
Yeah. Faded dreams.
So the other thing I've been watching, a bit left field, but it's with Jon Favreau in it on, I think it's either Amazon or Netflix.
Not Disney Plus.
No. So remember a while ago I did a little bit of review about a film he made where he was a chef going round in a truck. Well, this is a series that he's done, basically with the person that trained him up to be a chef, and all they do is go around to other people's restaurants or.
Is it Gordon Ramsay?
No. But it's really interesting because obviously he brings in lots of people that he's made films with. So he's with Gwyneth Paltrow, and they're making a pepper pot stew. He was at
With her vagina.
No. They're at a restaurant in one of the episodes with Robert Downey Jr. Talking about Iron Man, Spider-Man, all this kind of stuff as well. So it's not just about...
It's more like the discussions they have.
Yeah, so it's about cooking, but it's
I
also...
thought you were plugging a cookery show for a minute. I was a bit like...
Well, it is, but he obviously pulls in a few strings to get some famous actors on the screen as well. So, yeah, I'm a bit of a sucker for cookery programs as well.
It's like the riding around in taxis with comedians or whatever it's called, but instead of that, they're taking dinner.
And he brings up a few stories from when they were like filming and all that kind of good stuff. So, yeah.
Does he get like Jennifer Aniston online and go like, do you remember like when I was on Friends? I'm bigger than you now.
Well, I haven't got to that one yet. But yeah, let's watch. Yeah, I'm not going to mention somebody feed Phil, but that's around the same lines. There's somebody that wrote Everybody Loves Raymond that now goes around eating food with lots of famous people. So yeah, watch the latest series of that. And
Master Chef.
Obi-Wan.
Oh yes, that's on my list too. Have you seen it, Damien?
Yes.
Hey!
I feel compelled to now watch these things. Yes, I have.
The power of force compels you.
Yeah. Quite literally.
That ruins everything I was going to say, you bastard.
Oh, go on then, Brett. Yeah, see?
I was all ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, should we talk about it then? As we mentioned,
yeah, go for it. You start it, Paul. Go. Or actually,
throw it over to Damien.
Yeah,
go on.
I think throw it over to Damien. It's almost like what we're going to do later on with our spotlights, but it's a mini spotlight.
Yeah. All right. I haven't written anything down because I actually genuinely forgot I'd watched it until until you just mentioned it earlier.
Okay.
I didn't not enjoy it. So there's 2 episodes, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm right.
So far,
yeah. I thought the kid playing Leia was really good. I thought they captured the kind of essence and all that.
I think she was playing Carrie Fisher more than she was playing
Well,
Leia at some points. But
yeah.
I think it was she just had that attitude.
Yeah,
and that
exactly.
Thing. Yeah.
But that's the only thing that really stands out. I think kind of the rest of it was a bit boring, to be perfectly honest. And that might be because I'm not a fanboy. So I know I saw online earlier today a webpage that said the list of Easter eggs, and it was like as long as my arm. Piss off! If that's it goes back to why do they always have to make callbacks? Just
the thing is, a lot of it is people reaching as well. No, the only Easter egg you need to know is that the girl that was dealing the spice that Obi-Wan comes out and says something about, "Where's your father? You're doing this." It's his daughter in real life. Because he asks where her father is, and he's her father, really.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you know what I mean? And that was probably it. But a lot of it is people going, "Oh, in the book 2, series 2, he had a red sleeve on, and that guy had a red sleeve." That could be so. It's just not. It's just someone in the background.
They've already broken canon by killing off the Inquisitor. It's like, well, he's probably not. He probably comes back, because they've been hyping him up, before the series started. So for him to die that easily, I don't think that's going to be the case.
That's not the sort of thing they would do in Star Wars. Hype up a character for years in advance and just kill him off and never really mention him again for ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
okay, well, they're my thoughts.
Cool. Okay.
I might chip in again in a minute if it jogs my memory.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't. I deliberately set my hopes low, just a new hope. So I went in there with low expectations. I deliberately didn't look for any Easter eggs. I wasn't watching every scene to get a flashback of like some, I don't know, droids parts just hanging out of a doorway.
That doesn't sound right at all.
Or
you're still on Obi-Wan, aren't
you? It was okay. It was nice that they did episode 1 and 2 back to back. I was watching it with Kira as well. She enjoyed it. She wants to watch the next episode. It was better than
Boba Fett.
It was better than Boba Fett. Not quite good as Mandalorian yet.
But do you think it was better than Boba Fett just because of the aesthetics? So there was more jumping about different places, whereas with Boba Fett we don't really get to see a lot of anything other than
it was very Boba Fett was really slow.
I thought Obi-Wan was as well. I mean, how many times we have to cut back to him filling in a bit of fish?
My
we get the idea. He works at the factory.
If it was Clint Eastwood as a cowboy doing it, everyone would say it was dark and moody and brilliant. But
he's back on his space western thing
no,
again.
because it's Boba Fett, it's like, oh, this is boring and slow. It's like, have you not watched The Unforgiven?
Yeah, let's not go down the let's not dissect Boba Fett again.
Just saying. Okay, I liked it. I thought it was good. I'm still worried they're going to completely screw over everything they've already established, because Obi-Wan Kenobi, I've not heard that for many, many years. Apart from that time I had to go and save your sister.
Yeah.
Less than 10 years ago. But the two bits I will pull out of this is right at the beginning when we saw what happened when Order 66 went down and you saw those little kids run off.
Yep.
Skeleton crew.
You reckon?
Because they went, hey, what should we do now? And they go, let's just get out of here. And they all like run off in one direction. And then we pan around. Because Skeleton Crew's going to be about 10 years later. They're going to be about 12, 14.
We got that on the news. But
cool.
I'm
just saying, that's
I get where you go.
I think that's where, when it's a flashback, go, oh, that was them. I think they've already put that in. And my other bit was, I was sure, and I went back and watched the clip again, but it's once Anakin becomes a Sith Lord, he becomes Darth Vader, because the Darth is the Sith title. It wasn't when he got put in the suit. He was Darth Vader as a baddie when he had the evil eyes and he went in and sliced up all the kids that we never saw. Bastards. And so once he became evil and became a Sith, he became Darth Vader.
Right.
So now when it's like, I forgot her name now. What's her name? The woman chasing him around.
The other Inquisitor.
The sixth
Sister Six or whatever it was. Sister Bliss, or whatever her name was. She's like, Anakin's alive and he's Darth Vader. And he's like, what? And it's like, well, you already met him. It was Darth Vader when you fought him in Mustafar and he fell in all the volcanic
No, I don't
stuff.
think he was he?
But it's Darth Vader when he becomes a Sith, because a Darth is a Sith Lord title.
Yeah, but you still called him Anakin.
Perhaps he was Darth Anakin. I don't know.
No, but I
you're
think, or
talking to someone who's
maybe,
not even seen that
I'm
one.
just saying, or maybe he didn't know he was Darth Vader. Maybe he didn't know his title. He just knew him as Anakin still and didn't know he changed. But we did, because I'm sure Palpatine said something like, "Arise, Darth Vader."
Well, of course we did. They're prequels.
Yeah, but I think no, but we get the dramatic irony of knowing some of the things that the other characters don't.
There's probably a lot in those films that Obi-Wan doesn't know because he, didn't see it like we did.
Yeah. No, but I just thought,
Anyway,
but then it was like
answers on a postcard.
no, but it was just like this big revelation, and you see like the eyes open at the end. Obviously, Anakin or Vader in his tank, and it's like he's connected again or whatever. And it was like, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, I didn't really, he didn't know." I was like, "Well, he did because he said it." But that was my main bit with it. Really, I think they over dramatised something that was kind of already
didn't need to
revealed. But yeah, it's good. I'll still be watching. Interesting to see where they go next. I'm just worried they've played their cards already, because we've already seen little Luke pretending he's flying a spaceship. We've saved Princess Leia. It's like, who else can we drag in?
Oh, there is one, and it's
Or
do you know what?
Vader.
I feel part of my heart died when I spotted this because it's not something I should spot.
Go on.
But the spaceship that he leaves outside is the spaceship that Luke is mucking about with or playing with in
later
A
on,
New Hope.
yeah.
I hate myself for noticing that.
See,
Anyway.
deep down, you're one of us. Yeah, but it's good. Just see what they do next. Really, is it 6 episodes?
I
Yeah, I
thought so,
think so.
yeah.
Okay then. But yeah, that's cool.
No,
Carry
it's
on,
it for
Paul.
me.
Okay.
We're on limited time.
Well, I've seen that. I rewatched A House of a Thousand Corpses,
Cool.
the Rob Zombie classic. I totally forgot that Rainn Wilson was in it until I watched it this time. He meets a grisly end. Is it Rainn Wilson, the dude from The Office and Super? And he's like a big dude with glasses. But it is Rainn Wilson, isn't it?
I've no idea.
Yeah, he's in it anyway. I'm sure that's his name. And yeah, no, it's really good though. And just it is a classic. Also, Psycho 2.
Yeah, okay.
Because it was on, and it was on something, or you're like, I don't think I remember. Have I seen it or not? You know what I mean?
I know I have seen it.
Yeah.
But it's colour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's when Norman comes out, and all.
Mm.
I would say it's better than Psycho.
Cool.
I can't remember it.
A lot of people just found a
In too much
disturbance in the
detail.
Force, then I reckon. But
But it's acted well. The storyline's good. It's the twist. Obviously there's a twist, and it plays straight off of the first one. It's 30 years later, but all the characters from the first are the same actors, actresses, etc. And I don't know if it's just because the first one's just a dead cliche now because it's been done to death and mimicked and that. But I honestly watched it and thought, well, he's actually a better actor in this, and I challenge thee.
well, I've no doubt it's better than the Vince Vaughn remake.
Well, that was shot by shot. Gus
Yeah.
Van Sant, wasn't it?
That was it. What did I say?
Yeah, no,
he is in it, isn't it? Yeah,
Vince
yeah.
Vaughn.
Yeah.
Gus Van Sant was director.
Yeah.
It was all right for what it was, but it was literally a shot for shot, actual total
Yeah.
remake. It
But
wasn't
they made
like,
that's what they said they were going to do, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it just failed miserably.
I like Vince Vaughn. What else am I watching? So, Corpses, Obi-Wan, Psycho 2, Stranger Things 1 and 2.
Oh, I haven't
Okay.
seen those yet.
Dropped.
So spoiler free. What do you reckon so far? I haven't seen it yet.
It's Stranger Things.
So paint by numbers.
It's there's some good bits in it. It's done well, but I was sat there thinking, I think I'd rather watch another Fear Street.
Okay.
But it's not rubbish, but it is Stranger Things. They're all, the problem you've got now is everyone's hit puberty, but they're all still at school
Yeah.
or college now or whatever, and it's sort of, You know, some of them look 10 years older than their mates now. It's just sort of like, it's like, but El, we've got to do that now, El. Come on. It's like, what? No, I'm still talking like this because I'm a little boy. But
All I know
dunno.
about it is Running Up That Hill's #1 on streaming
Yeah.
services because of
Well,
it.
as soon as they said it was Kate Bush, I was like, it's got to be that song.
Mm.
It's no Running Scared, though. The BBC classic with Badger Girl and Burnside from
Badger
the Bill.
Girl.
Yeah.
She was in Running Scared and Burnside from the Bill. And other thing I watched that I can still remember was Inside Number 9, A Random Act of Kindness.
I've not seen that one yet. Is it starting? Is it improving?
I mean, it's good. I mean, they're all the things. They're
Yeah.
all good, but it's quite interesting actually because I've found their podcast that they do a podcast for each episode, which you can only get on the BBC Sounds app. You can't get on anything else. So I've gone back having the time this week to listen through, and they're saying it themselves. They said like it's really good. So, but the problem you've got is everyone's watching, going, "Well, that might not be true. Well, that might not be true." But is he telling the truth? He said, and they're just second guessing everything now. So they tried to put things in. But yeah, it's very good episode. I called it, but feel bad for saying that now. But yeah, worth a while. I mean, the series is really good. It's just they haven't got me yet, and normally at least at some point they've got me in one of them. And you go, oh my god, oh yeah, I can't believe that. I should have noticed that or whatever. But I guess we're used to them now, maybe. But worth a watch. Would be a very good standalone if they had longer to do it. That one, I think. If they had like an hour and a half, it could be a very good film.
Yeah.
But I don't want to say too much because you want you to watch it, and I don't want to give anything away. But yes, very good. And I think at the moment that's it for me. Until
Cool.
I remember something else and shout it out in a minute.
Okay. So this week I have mostly been watching Bosch Legacy. So this is a follow-up stroke spin-off from the original Boss series that was on Amazon. I think it was 5 seasons on Amazon. And then for some reason Amazon decided not to pick up on the sort of continuation service.
Yeah, Titus Welliver, isn't
Titus
it? That's the one,
Welliver.
yeah. I like him.
It picks up pretty much immediately after the events of the last season. Bosch is now a PI in LA and his daughter's just graduated from the police academy.
Du-du-du-du-du-du.
I've even put in brackets here, cue Mahoney joke, so I knew someone was going to say something. It's a good continuation. Some of the same main characters have returned from the previous show, which kind of keeps that continuity and makes it feel like it's the same thing. It's not as high tempo as the original series is, yeah. But it's a good watch. It was 10 episodes. We watched it pretty much over 2 nights.
Cool.
Ends on a cliffhanger, so they better do another one. It's good. And then there's Night Sky. So we talked about this when we did our episode that never was, which we did eventually put out, which was some of the stuff that was upcoming in the next couple of months. So this is the new Prime Video sci-fi show starring J.K.
right.
Simmons and
Yep.
Sissy Spacek. So they're an older couple who've got some sort of portal to what looks like outer space. We, at the moment, assuming it is outer space. It's in their basement or their shed
Oh, yeah, I
garage
remember
basement.
that, yeah.
So they got to go outside the house, go across the lawn and into a outhouse type thing and go down to the shed, down to the basement. And then they got somehow up to the stars, and they're in this like room with some chairs, and they're just literally just looking out to the sky, the night with the space. But that's it. That's kind of all they do. And he at one point I think he says we've made this journey like 837 times or something. So they've obviously had this portal for a long time, and that's all they've ever done is gone up. And he does mention something because he says I want to open the door. And he says, don't be silly, you saw what happened to the mouse that I put out there. So they obviously clearly state, so they've never left that room and they're just looking out to the sky. It's not all out action. It's kind of, at the moment, it's focusing more on the fact that they're an older couple. So Sissy Spacek's character is, she's recently had a fall and she's got all manner of health problems, and there's something she's not telling him about a visit to the doctors, and I didn't pick up on what it was, so I'm guessing we don't know either, or I missed it when I wasn't.
So it's not like
properly.
Cocoon then. It's not making
Well-
her better.
No, but it does have that.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's only because it's older people that I'm thinking of Cocoon. So no, and he's got memory loss. He keeps forgetting stuff. I'm only 3 episodes in, and they've discovered an interloper in the portal, and there's another story arc happening over in Argentina where there seems to be another portal, but it's being guarded by a secret organisation, but not a government secret. Not all guns and
Has Jodie Foster turned up yet?
no, it's nothing like that.
Cool.
But I'm only 3 episodes in. It's a slow burn, but it's
I like J.K.
interesting.
Simmons.
It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
It's not your typical, space starfighter stuff. There's something more, obviously more going on.
Not yet.
Yeah, yeah, maybe.
Cool.
And obviously Obi-Wan, which we've just blissfully talked about.
I did remember something.
I knew that was happening. Go on then.
Panda Rescue Rangers.
Oh,
You
yeah.
need to watch it.
I don't.
This
I
is-
can quite happily live my entire life having never watched anything to do with Chip and Dale.
It's not even about Chip and Dale. It's basically the new Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I didn't like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
You don't like anything.
But that's not true. I just didn't like Roger Rabbit.
I like Roger Rabbit.
I didn't.
But I'll give you the premise anyway. if you
So
want.
there.
But basically, in this, it's set in the modern day, and we get the flashback to when Chip met Dale at school, and they started doing a comedy duo act where they eventually got their own TV show, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. But then Dale gets offered his own series, Double O Dale, and he's going to do both, but then he gets cancelled, and then they fall out because it's his fault that the show got cancelled. And Dale ends up sort of being like doing the convention circuit, and Chip becomes an insurance salesman. And then it's like now, and they kind of meet back up over something that I don't want to give it all away. But there's loads of cameos and all sorts of stuff. There's a really clever cameo that they may have made a mainstream character now. Do you want spoilers?
I don't care.
I'm looking for
I'm
the
not
bell. No,
gonna watch it. So
Have you got the bell?
The bell's just behind you, or in front of your laptop, rather.
Just watch your can.
Ding, ding. Spoiler bell. There's a bit where he's at the convention, and in the stand by him is Ugly Sonic. You know, the Sonic that they replaced
Yeah.
in the original trailer? Like, because they made the Sonic trailer, didn't they? And then everyone
Everyone hated
complained
it.
about
Oh, right, yeah.
And he's called Ugly Sonic now, and he's like a character there going, yeah, well, look what happened to me, man. I had a film, it was all in front of me, it got ripped away. That's my career, and all that. And they end up bumping into him a
That's
few
quite
times.
funny.
And they've actually, Ugly Sonic might, I think, get a spin-off out of this, because they've kind of made this character now that's...
One
it's
thing,
very
yeah,
much-
so from the trailer, I saw that one of them's had work done and is now CGI.
Oh, yeah, he's had CGI surgery, yeah.
Yeah.
He's had CGI surgery to keep his career
Okay.
going.
Yeah.
And it's all little things like, but it's one of those. I watched it again today, and there was a poster at the on the bus stop that I missed before, where it was
Someone's phone number?
no, it was Senator Butthead for U.S. Senate, and there's a picture of him like in a suit but older. There's all sorts of different. There's a bit where they walk past and they look into like a sauna, and Randy Marsh is in there from South Park, and there's it's just like think of all the people that Disney now own, and they'll probably pop up in it somewhere. A gummy bear pops up at one point. All the different things, just even randomly. There's a bit where they're at school, and it was the Autobot. Was it Blaster? The Autobot, the Soundwave equivalent.
Yeah, something like that.
Was it Blaster? He's at school with them, and it's just random. Yeah, it's just kind of a random fest of basically a kind of
Ready Player
detective-y
One
story. Yeah, but it's a bit like that. Yeah, it's a bit like Ready Player One, Roger Rabbit-y, and it's not because the kids at school wanted to watch it because it was like last their term choice thing, and I went, all right, I'll put it on. And some of it's quite dark. I think if you've got really little kids, they might get a bit disturbed by some of it.
Cool.
But yeah, but it is worth a watch. It's not what you think it is. They basically reinvented Chip and Dale, really, for the Generation X market, I think.
Oh, the only other one that I watched as well, because I want to get off Chip and Dale. The actress that plays Fat Amy in that singing films, Pitch Perfect, the Australian woman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's got-
her husband's a director, isn't she?
She's got a new film out
From
on.
Thunder Force, wasn't she? And all that.
Melissa McCarthy.
No, the
She's not
Australian one.
Australian.
In Pitch Perfect. She was in Night at the Museum 2 or 3 or something.
No idea.
Oh no.
Right. I do want to. It doesn't matter because I didn't really want to talk about it. She's done some new thing where she's a cheerleader. She goes into a coma for a few years, comes back, has to go back to school obviously because she wants to.
Rebel Wilson.
She wants to be prom queen. Don't bother. There's so many better things out there about.
But why did you watch it? Surely you must have known. I mean, it sounds awful.
Well, because Neve was up and.
Okay.
So it's like, well, let's put this on because she likes Pitch Perfect and Rebel Wilson. So, yeah, but
I
don't
have
bother.
no idea who that is.
You'd know if you see her.
Would I?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, on that note, it's probably time for the news.
Ooh.
Din din din.
News desk.
The news.
News items. News items.
There we go. It's time for the news, and I think for the first time ever, according to Mr. Summers, anyway,
I remember.
you get to read out the headlines.
Yay.
Mr. Summers, over to you.
Bong! Disney Plus announced new live-action series, Star Wars Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, so they pinched our title for a new series. So Disney Plus has revealed Star Wars Skeleton Crew, a new live-action TV series set in the Star Wars universe with Jude Law in the lead, from Spider-Man director John Watts. Watts confirmed it will be set within the same timeline as The Mandalorian, so between Jedi and The Force Awakens, and will follow a group of kids who are about 10 years old who get lost in the Star Wars universe. This sounds like something at Disneyland's.
Yeah. Could be a new ride.
Yeah. He did
so to
also
speak.
he did also say it's a show with 4 kids as the leads, but not a kids show.
So it could be. I still think it might be those kids we saw escape, but that would make them a bit older. Okay. Bong! Keeping with the Star Wars theme, the new teaser trailer for Andor dropped last week.
Yeah, so Andor will explore a new perspective from the Star Wars galaxy, focusing on Cassian Andor's journey to discover the difference he can make. The series brings forward the tale of the burgeoning rebellion against the Empire and how people and planets became involved. It is an era filled with danger, Decepticons. That was deliberate. Deception. And that would be cool, wouldn't it?
A Star Wars Transformers crossover.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And intrigue where Cassian will embark on the path that is destined to turn him into a rebel hero. In addition to dropping the trailer, they have also announced the drama will be returning for a second season. Oh, already. Andor premieres Wednesday, the 31st of August, 2022 on Disney Plus Worldwide.
I quite like the bit Andor will Explorer. They should get that. Andor Explorer.
Did you
Is
watch the trailer?
Is he the one? I haven't seen the trailer. I've seen some stills. Is he the one that was in the Rebel?
Rogue One.
Rogue One, rather.
Yes.
I was going to say Rebel One.
Yeah, he killed Danny Mays in Rogue One.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought it was. Okay.
Which I'm hopeful because I want to see the gritty underworld.
Yeah,
of
you've been
Rebel
saying that
Alliance.
for a while.
This is my hope.
Yeah.
He said that in Boba Fett as well, didn't he?
That's true.
Yeah, I did. Well, but I'm hoping because we got a bit of that in that. You know, like the guy gives him the information, then he has to kill him because he might tell him in the wet works of the Rebel Alliance. But well, we all know how it ends. But
Yeah.
he dies. Spoiler. But yeah. Anyway, Bong! Daredevil series in development at Disney Plus.
In a move we all thought was coming, it has been announced that Daredevil will make a long overdue return to TV on Disney Plus. According to Variety, Charlie Cox is set to return as the Man Without Fear in his own series once again. No official announcement has been made by Disney themselves, however. All major media outlets are reporting this, so we're just tagging on to them reporting it. So if we're wrong, it's not us.
Exactly.
As to what a Disney Plus Daredevil series will look like, it's hard to say. Will it be a straight continuation from the Netflix version, or will it serve as some sort of soft reboot for the character in the same way it sometimes does when a new writer takes over the comic book? I quite like Charlie Cox in Daredevil.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
good.
Daredevil.
And he and he was good in the 10 seconds he was in Spider-Man Far From Home as well.
Yeah.
I think we'll see him in She-Hulk first, because She-Hulk's out before, isn't it? So, because She-Hulk's a lawyer, Matt Murdock's a lawyer.
Yeah.
I think we'll get some sort of little. I think that might be a little backdoor pilot-y kind of thing into that. But yeah, good. And hopefully that means we'll get all the other shows as well, like a Luke Cage season 3. We need that.
What was the other one? What was the one with the woman and it had David Tennant in the first?
Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
That was brilliant as well. That was probably series 1 of that was probably my favourite.
It was really good.
Marvels, but because Tennant was an evil bastard.
Yeah. Proper scary ass. And that.
Yeah.
Was that his naked scene?
Hey?
It's nothing.
Yeah.
I
Very
did
good.
call him the Purple Man. And bong! Ray Liotta has passed away at the age of 67.
Yeah, so as it was announced last week that the Hollywood actor, famous roles in Goodfellas, Field of Dreams, and Identity, along with many, many other films.
Wild Hogs.
Muppets too.
Yeah, I didn't want to list every film that he's been in.
I know, but he said something.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to be speaking at the moment. Can't help
I
himself.
didn't even remember him in Field of Dreams.
How can you not remember him in Field of Dreams?
We were on about this. Well, like,
It's
was
like a
it,
pivotal role in Field of
everyone
Dreams.
was like, was he even in that?
Is he shoeless? Whatever it is.
Oh, no.
I can't remember his name. I've only ever seen it once.
It was
But
shit anyway. Wayne's World 2 did it better.
Right, but his role and character was really good, and his acting was really good. Yeah, so he died in his sleep while filming a new project, Dangerous Waters.
yep, came as a shock.
Yeah,
What was it? 67.
Yep.
As we always say, this type of thing is a cliche, but it is no age. It's just he's, for want of a better term, has been in the wilderness a little bit. He popped up in Prime series Hannah in that last season. I think that's the first time I've seen him in
He was
anything
in
major.
the Many Saints in Newark as well. The
That's right.
Sopranos
Yeah. So I think
prequel.
that was after Hannah. So he's obviously sort of,
And that
like I
other
say, for want of a
film
better term, on the
where
comeback
he's
trail.
that one where he's the dodgy lodger.
That's a long time ago, though. That's
I'm just saying, good films he was in.
yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Even though I
It's
can't
not the
remember name of
narrative
it.
I was going with.
Yeah,
you
I know
just,
what you mean, but-
saying how tragic it is that he
Yeah.
was just beginning to
Come
kind
back.
of reinvent himself and whatnot, and then
Yeah,
when he goes and pops his clogs, it's a shame.
we'll always have good fellas.
Great film.
it is a good film. And Muppets Most Wanted.
And bong! That was the news.
Cool.
See, that's why he
We
doesn't
rifled through that, didn't
because
we?
he gets bonged. You see, no need for that.
Well, it's like the headlines on the news, isn't it?
Yeah.
Trevor McDonald would have loved that shit.
Maybe we should do that every week. Maybe I'll see if I can find a bong sound effect. No, I'm not searching for a bong sound
No.
because that's going to be a load of bobbling.
Whatever that was.
Yeah.
I was making coffee.
Okay, so it's time for tonight's main event, a spotlight on the Princess Bride. This is where friendships could be shattered. This could be a parting of ways for the Cult Faction podcast. We shall see. Before we get going, I reckon I'll give a quick synopsis of the film, just to jog anyone's memory. Although, to be fair, everyone should know everything they need to know about the Princess Bride, and if they don't, stop listening. We don't
Unless
want
you're
you
a
here.
Brett up till a week ago.
Exactly. So, Princess Bride, a 1987 movie directed by Rob Reiner, adapted by William Goldman from his 1973 book of the same name. Story set in the fictional European nation of Florin. Buttercup, a simple yet incredibly beautiful farm girl, and Wesley, the farmhand she enjoys ordering around, realise that they share the incredibly rare thing called true love. But fate conspires to keep them apart, and when Wesley is lost at sea while off seeking his fortune. 5 years later, Prince Humperdinck, who rules Florin, decides to celebrate the kingdom's 500th anniversary by marrying Buttercup, who is still the most beautiful woman in the kingdom. Buttercup, knowing the princess is well within his rights to believing she can never love again, reluctantly agrees. In a plot against the throne, Buttercup is kidnapped by the criminal trio of Vizzini, the mastermind, Fezzik, the giant, and Inigo Montoya, the world's greatest fencer. But their steps are hampered by a mysterious man in black who seems determined to stop them at all costs. And it uses the framing device of a grandfather reading a story to his grandkid. So that's the synopsis of the film. And I guess when we do these ones where one of the individuals hasn't seen the film and the other two have, we have to start with the individual that hasn't, shamefully hasn't seen this film. So, Mr. Summers,
Yes.
this is where our friendship ends, I reckon.
Here's where
No,
the
he's
story
deliberately been
ends.
making those laughing noises because he enjoyed it. It's got Andre the Bloody Giant in it. He's not going to not like it.
There's nothing bad about it.
Oh, hold on. Let me retract my comment.
I just, it was all right. I enjoyed it. It was okay. I wasn't like, oh my God, I need that on Blu-ray in my collection. But it was all right. I watched it. I enjoyed it.
See? That's what I'm talking about.
I blame the cartoons that he watches.
Wasn't enough dick jokes in there.
Desensitized him to everything. He's got no heart left.
Okay.
So it didn't...
No, it wasn't rubbish. I enjoyed it. Yeah. It was, wasn't the Three Amigos.
I'm speechless.
Is he just winding us up?
Yeah.
Might as well just end the show.
The one that I was going to say, though, I might have missed a bit.
Did you watch the film, yeah?
Yeah,
The
but-
same film that we're talking about, the
Yeah.
Princess Bride.
Yeah, but was she a princess?
No, that's kind of part of the point.
Okay.
She's the...
Oh, that why she's a princess bride, because she will be a princess.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you looking for a bit more? Everyone's
Oh, it
talking
would be
already.
nice to have a little bit
Okay,
more.
no, I thought it was like initial impression. Yeah, it wasn't rubbish. It was well made. Reiner does good stuff. Some great characters in there. Really cool to see Matey from Fright Night again. Even though after looking him up after that, realising I've probably seen him a lot more times than I realised I had, and that people do get old and change how they look. Mr. Guest is always... I don't think that man's ever played anything bad in his life. Billy Crystal, for someone who yarks on about this film a lot, isn't actually in it that much, is he?
No.
Because remember that film he done, that My Giant? And it was him and some really tall bloke driving around in a car. He made it like in the last 10 years or so.
Does ring a bell, yeah.
But like that was about him and his experiences of Andre the Giant making this film and how he felt sad for him because he couldn't fit on the airplane, and he, in the hotel, he used to have to go to the toilet in the bath because it was too small and all that, and all the things he would face, and that's what he made in that film. But I don't think they even shared that much screen time at all. So I'm guessing hanging around on set and that.
I was going to say, just because you don't share screen time.
Yeah, but
doesn't mean-
but Billy Crystal's only in it like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't take like 3 minutes to shoot.
Yeah, I know that, but like, he wasn't there for the whole. I don't imagine he was there for the whole
No, he
filming
wasn't.
experience. But the way he talks about it was like, me and Andre, well, we done this, and he's been on wrestling podcasts telling all these stories about it. And I was like, you probably spent 2 nights with him, and you've padded this out now into a great thing. But that's more at Billy Crystal, not at the film.
Yeah.
But
I don't think there was any need for that, to be fair.
I
Are
did
you,
And
are you
how
a
do
bit
you
jealous
know?
of Billy Crystal hanging out with Andre the Giant?
Everyone is.
What?
I'd love to hang out with Andre the Giant.
Wouldn't we all?
Yeah, picked up a bar tab and never stopped drinking. It's like living the dream. But I did like as well, I spotted Marty DeBerg's hat in Fred Savage's room at the
Yep.
beginning from Spinal Tap. I did see that straight away. That was a nice touch.
So that was... so Mark Knopfler did the score for the film, and he said, I'll do it if you put that hat in it.
Oh, cool.
But it's...
Oh, well, it's like a dare sort of thing.
Yeah, he later said he was only joking. But it's
That's
not
cool.
actually the original hat. It's...
And obviously, who can be mad at Peter Falk for anything? And he was awesome in this. The facial hair was a little bit ropey, but he had some really good lines. Like the books, that's what kids used to watch before there was a TV or something like that. And Fred Savage, we can't talk about him anymore, can we? So
Why not?
Why?
he's been cancelled.
Has he?
Yeah, he was a sex pest on the New Wonder Years or something.
I didn't know
He's
that.
been
I've not seen this.
Yeah, he's been sacked and everything.
When did this happen?
in the last few weeks. Now who's Googling?
Yeah, might just need to check that before we let that go out on air.
Well, allegedly. Well, they've sacked him, so
Oh, okay.
so whatever allegedly, blah blah blah. But they sacked him, so there's something there. Robin Wright was Robin Wright, really? And the Robin Hood dude was okay. Carrie, was it Elwes?
Elvis.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it was an enjoyable film. And Chris Sarandon, that was it. Star of the show for me. I did like him. Well, actually, no, Christopher Guest was better. Because Christopher Guest has that knack of, like, whatever he does is, like, he's the only one that might actually still believe it's real. He's just got that thing in the roles that he plays where, like, he just, becomes the character so much. But
Yeah, I think there's a story about. I think it's in that. So I've got the As You Wish book
oh, that's what the
by
book was.
Carrie Ells and Elwes, and I think there's something in there that Rob Reiner met up or bumped into matey
Guest.
Christopher
Yeah.
Guest a few years later, and completely forgot that he was in the film because he immerses himself so much in the parts that he plays. It's like,
I did see something. There was a thing on YouTube that he smacked matey so hard they had to stop it filming for a few days
Yep.
or something. When he hit him on the head or something.
Well, yeah, to go to hospital.
Yeah, well, that's pretty bad. Because I think he was that into it. Or he said, just whack me. And he went, okay, bang.
Yeah.
And then he did or something. So I remember I saw something like that when I was snooping around on it.
snooping around the internet.
Yeah, but, you know, I liked it. It was all right. And everyone's still looking at me like I've just, like, shit on your children.
Paul? Well, just for clarity, so Fred Savage has been fired from the Wonder Years following an investigation into inappropriate conduct on set. So we can keep that in.
Yeah, we don't know what that means though. So let's not go into too much detail
No,
about
that's,
it.
it.
Well, no,
We
that's
just,
it.
that's
That-
where we draw. We just
That's what I just
draw a
said.
line
Just
under it.
confirmed that's the official statement, and that's that.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the topic at hand. Princess Bride.
I'm not
so,
going.
so spinning it back round, then I'll just give mine. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me I should have been saying. What did it mean to you guys?
I'm not going to lie. I feel like I've had the wind taken out of my sails. Like someone's just killed my pet chipmunk. That actually happened. True story.
I didn't kill your chipmunk.
No, you didn't.
No, you mummed it with the Hoover.
Yeah. So maybe it is one of those ones where a lot of the nostalgia of watching it the first time round has blinkered our vision of it, but it's led to every time we've watched it since. But I'd like to think that, you know, whilst I've gone back and watched the likes of Never Ending Story and thought, yeah, that was all right when I was a kid, but now it's absolute rubbish.
I like the bit where the horse dies.
Yeah. And
Spoilers.
that kind of explains why you potentially don't like The Princess Bride.
People die in it. There's fights.
Yeah, but I
Just
just
in the
meant
Never Ending
just because you're a
Story.
cold-hearted
Yeah.
bastard.
No, in the Never Ending Story, I just never liked that kid and that in it. That it was just too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe that is it. Maybe where we watched it growing up, you know, I was suckered in from the get-go where you've got Fred Savage being read the book by his granddad, you know, because that sets you in the scene. You automatically feel like, oh, this could be any of us, and you know they're reading the story and all that kind of good stuff. But it's a classic modern aged fairy tale, you know. We've spoken a few times about those great family movies that come along once in a blue moon that appeal to the masses apart from Brett. But they do appeal to the masses. They're for kids, they're for the adults watching with them, it's for the grandparents, it's across the board, because it's setting a classic tale of love with pirates, but done in such a new way with new twists, modern takes, comedy as well from some great comedians in there. Yes, they may only have 5 minutes on screen, but I just can't help not being sucked into that or wanting to be sucked into that universe.
Yeah. So I don't think it's just nostalgia. There's hardly an ounce of fat in the film.
Yeah.
There's nothing in there where, I mean, a lot of films.
There's no padding.
Yeah. So there's no.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
There's no bits where, I mean, even in like my all-time favorite in Back to the Future, there's some bits where I can go and make a cup of tea now, and this scene isn't. This scene isn't memorable. This scene isn't.
Yeah.
It's not going to spoil your enjoyment of sitting watching from start to end if you just bugger off and go and make a cup of tea.
It literally watches like a kid's book would read.
Exactly, which is, I think, the point, because it's obvious that's the framing device that they've used. Is so, it is almost done chapter by chapter.
Yeah.
There is no filler. There's hardly any of that. So, like Wesley and Buttercup are off running through or going through the forest, whatever it's called. I forgot. I can't believe I forgot what it's called. But then there's not a hell. It doesn't, like a lot of films. If that was happening, then they would then cut to Humperdinck and the other guy, and that would be for like 10 minutes or so or whatever of more of just.
Or if it's Lord of the Rings, it'd be 45 minutes of them camping out, a few elves singing along, and all that kind of good stuff.
All that nonsense. They don't do that. It's like there's a quick. It cuts to them. They've gone into the swamp of despair. What is it called? There's a pit of despair.
There's Cliffs of Insanity.
Cliffs of Insanity.
Yeah.
I mean, this is it. Why can you not like this film with these names? They're the Screeching Hills,
I did
the
like
Cliffs
it.
of Insanity,
The rodents of unusual size.
Yeah.
I didn't say I didn't like it.
No.
Yeah.
I like the legacy of Dread Pirate Roberts as well. I like the idea that it's passed on so people, still fear the name. But obviously, being a pirate, they probably haven't seen him.
Yeah.
And I thought that was clever. I thought that could be a good film in itself.
Actually, I've just remembered a way to lighten the mood. I think we need to lighten the mood here a little bit. We've gone from up here, and we've gone a bit flat. I have sweets.
Ooh.
I have leftover wedding sweets.
I was going to say as well. Obviously, it's from the book. There's a book of Prince of Bride.
Yeah.
Do we know? Has anyone read it? Is it how
I did
similar
years
is
ago.
it? Is it
It's
very similar?
similar.
Obviously, it's by the same guy. He wrote the screenplay, didn't he? He was the one that wrote the book. No, I just wondered, is it of similar tone and similar?
Yeah. It is.
I just wondered.
I'm just getting my sweets.
I'm just handing out the sweets. That should lighten the mood a little bit. But yeah, so as we were saying, there's no fat in it. What is it called? It's gonna really bug me now. This is terrible. What's the fire swamp? Fire swamp. There we go.
Is that where Mel Smith lives?
No. That's the pit of. Well, he doesn't necessarily live in the pit of despair,
Oh, is it?
but that's a
I
grove.
thought he
of
was very
trees.
good for the short time he was in it.
Yeah.
The voice gimmick was good. Again, I didn't not like it. You're all still. You're always thinking it was a sack of shit and I hated it. It was all right. It was a good film. Was I blown away? No, but I still liked it. And everyone still looks at me like I've raped your dog.
Maybe the sweets weren't such a good idea.
That's because we're all eating now.
Yeah. Should have stuck with flumps. Could eat flumps quietly.
Okay, then. So what am I missing? Because again, Rob Reiner makes good films. I don't think he's ever made a bad film, has he? I mean, the man, obviously, Spinal Tap, or this is Spinal Tap. We had Sure Thing, Stand By Me, When Harry Met Sally. Yeah, right, he made When Harry Met Sally. That's fair enough. Misery, Few Good Men, and a few other ones.
That's where it goes a bit sketchy, to be fair. So personally, I would say The Princess Bride is the peak of his career. You can take your Few Good Men and all the...
Misery was all right.
I don't know if it was Oscar-winning performances. I can't remember now, but there's obviously strong performances in...
You can't handle the crew.
But that's just one quote. I mean, how many quotes are there in Princess Bride? Hundreds.
You didn't like the whole him tracking down the six-fingered man and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, it was quite cool. But it was kind of clear that it wasn't the king, so it was going to be the other guy.
What about the sword fight that took them months of rehearsal?
Good sword fight. It was all right. There's nothing. I thought it was cool that it looked like they did it themselves anyway. I imagine
they did. The only bit that wasn't them was the bit where he swings the somersault.
Yeah. It's all right. Definitely Andre stunt double though. When he was carrying him, because there's no way he could have carried him at that point.
He didn't carry. No, but it's not a stunt double. It's what bit?
You know, the fight with.
No, he's on a ramp behind him.
Oh yeah.
So he's got his arms around him like that, but he's actually walking on a.
Just say he won't carry anyone in the ring at that point. Then.
Yeah, and they had to use.
Bloke.
They used wires when Buttercup jumps into his arms at the end. Paul, you look like you got the face of death. I mean, I'm trying to,
What am I missing? Tell me what. I mean, everything you said I've liked.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't understand why you so down on the film.
I'm not down on the film. It was
all right. It's the way you said it.
Yeah.
The tone can mean a lot of things.
I would just say if it was like, I don't know, The Simpsons, it was a good episode. It wasn't one of those ones where you go, wow, it's me. Or whatever. I'm just trying to explain it more. Because it was, it wasn't rubbish. It wasn't like, oh my God, it wouldn't be like one of the episodes that you'd skip again when it was on. You'd sit through it again. But I wouldn't be like...
I'd never watch an episode. If I've seen an episode of The Simpsons, which is
all
rare,
of them,
I wouldn't watch another one. I wouldn't watch it again.
I'm trying to think of an
They're always on telly. I did.
Yeah, it's not a Channel 4 episode of The Simpsons. It's one of the cool Sky ones.
As I said, maybe it's. I don't even think it is though. I don't think it's you had to watch it in the time because many of films that I've gone back and revisited don't stand up to today, but this one still does. Even appreciate the fact that it's from the 80s and the quality may be a bit grainier than some 4K things out there, but I kind of think that adds to it anyway, because a lot of the scenes in there are a bit hazy, deliberately so, like in moments of love and all that kind of good stuff. So that didn't take away. Yeah, the special effects were actually okay. The rodents of unusual size, okay. You could kind of tell that there were people in the suits and that they weren't CGI, but it was done well.
See, I know this is a bit of a stretch, but I like to think that all of that can be forgiven because basically what you're seeing is Fred Savage's imagination. You can forgive that because that's the way Fred Savage perceives it. Nodding doesn't help with a podcast, by the way, I'm just saying.
I was chewing a sweet away from the microphone, trying to instill some joy into my life, like the Princess Bride does.
That's cool. So tell me, why does it? I mean, you were getting... No, I'm just saying, like, tell me why I'm wrong.
It's funny.
Yeah.
All the...
But what? No, more. But it's more than that, isn't it? Because obviously, this isn't a thing. It obviously means a lot to you. I mean, you've got the books and everything here.
So it's an action adventure. It's a love story. It's clever. There's clever scenes in it. How he defeats each of the enemy. Whether it's through strength or cunning or swashbuckling.
He kills one of them as well. Whereas that surprised me because most young people get banged on the head or whatever. But they establish. So if you think about it, when they're on the boat, and it's or literally when they first kidnap Buttercup, they establish very early on, Vicini's prepared to kill Buttercup. The other two aren't. So that's your out, if you like, your fate
to off Vicini.
I was put off slightly though again because he was Rex in Toy Story, and haven't seen that since. I could just hear that voice and see him a lot because it's a distinctive voice.
Yeah,
but that's my fault for watching it out of sequence.
Exactly. So watch these things in order, Mr. Summers.
Yes, but. That's what I'm saying. But obviously, why then? Why have you gone back? You've got the books, you've got the things. What is it that's made you come back to this? Why do you revisit it?
And the reason that I'm wearing an Arcane Powder T-shirt is that nostalgia thing. That's purely that. But
But something
that
must
doesn't
draw you back
account
to this
for
all the time.
because it's a great film. It's a great watch. You know, you can tell the warmth comes out of the screen. If you haven't read that book, so the As You Wish book, which basically is a memoir of Carrie Elwes on set. They were having a great time. That everyone was getting on perfectly. It was like like the perfect storm of
I
everyone
heard
just
Andre
really
had a
enjoying
really
it.
good time one night and had to leave him there.
Yeah. So there's a story in there where but Andre the Giant basically drinks so much he passes out in the hotel lobby, and not one person could move him. So they put one of those rope cordons, with the poles, like a VIP type rope cordon thing around him, and just left him there for the night because they couldn't move him. So but that, to me at least, comes across on the screen that they're having a whale of a time. Billy Crystal and Carol Kane kind of ad-libbed a lot of their interplay between each other, and even Rob Reiner had to leave set because he was laughing so much. And I think I think it's in the book as well. I'm sure, or I read it somewhere that when Mandy Patinkin was interviewed about it, he said like the only injury he sustained was almost broken ribs because he was laughing so much at Billy Crystal scenes when they were on set. And I think you can almost see in his face that he's trying to keep a straight face when he has to deliver a line back to Billy Crystal. But that comes across in the thing. The sword fight, they're talking to each other. The fight Andre has with him, they're talking to each other.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I do that.
It's
Actually,
clever.
I'm left-handed too.
Yeah, all of that stuff is clever because it's not just plain and simple, good guy fighting a bad guy, and because he's going to win. It happens in the first quarter of an hour of the film. Wesley's not going to get, although we don't know it's Wesley yet, but we obviously do. But he's not going to get offed in the first 15 minutes. But you also kind of think to yourself, well, they're not going to kill the Spaniard either because he's an interesting character. It's just that well done. And as I said, there's not an ounce of fat in it. I've been flicking through the channels way back and sort of switched over, and it's on. I just watched this scene, and I go before you know it. Yeah, exactly. You've seen the whole thing, and in the same token, you don't, because of the way it's set, you don't necessarily have to. It's because of that, I guess. It's not one of those films you go, it's halfway through now. I'm not going to bother watching the end of it. You do. Well, I do anyway. I can't help myself. Cool. What's not to like?
Paul?
Yes, as I said, it's the. I feel like I want to just go home and watch it to cheer myself up now. It's the clever touches as well. All the stuff that he's learned being the Dread Pirate Roberts, and also the touching bits that Dread Pirate Roberts liked him so much that he gave him the secret of the Dread Pirate Roberts and said how long they've been, and this is the reason why, because he hands the baton down. Even the switchbacks to Fred Savage and his granddad, with the kissing scene where it's like, oh no, skip ahead, and he gets into it so much as a kid that at the end he lets his granddad read the kissing scene. Out of all the kisses in history, there's
been 5, and
yeah.
this one surpassed them all.
Yeah.
No, again, it was. I'll say it again before everyone lynches me. It was a good film. Was it a great film? I don't know. I think that's why you hate me.
It holds a 98% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Good.
It's got to account for something.
It's well made. I like the way it's sequenced. We meet everyone pretty much right away, and then we go on the different journeys with them. I like the way, the man in black, as he was at that point, knocks them all off one at a time. You got the other guys chasing him. The threads all come together. It's well written, it's well directed, it's well acted. Maybe, I'm trying to think, what would it have been? Maybe I wanted a bit more of the tongue-in-cheek. I'm not saying necessarily dick jokes and not joke, but the kind of, like, I like the banter during the sword fight. Maybe a bit more of that for me. I don't know. I'm trying to think now what I would have done to push it up a bit more, because it's almost a tongue-in-cheek look at it, isn't it? From in its own way of that sort of genre of film.
Is it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not
but
parody
it's not,
in the same way that Spaceballs is
it's not
a parody
like that,
or Men in Tights
that's
is a
what
parody.
that's why I was thinking Three Amigos, that sort of thing, because it's...
But I think that's what makes it better.
Yeah,
is that the fact that it doesn't go overboard on the parody.
I don't. That's what I mean. I don't want it like Spaceballs. Just a couple more.
All the comedy, or the majority of the comedy, is more subtle. It's not, Mel Brooks opening up a can of Perrier air and sniffing it. It's not, that isn't the point. It's a
not that.
well
No, I'm just
crafted.
thinking more.
There's well crafted humour in there, which doesn't detract from. It doesn't take you out of the fairy tale.
Yeah.
Whereas if it
doesn't break the realism that it's created.
Yeah.
No, I'll give you that. But
So,
I just maybe want a bit more.
Maybe it's because you didn't have to deconstruct it. It's literally a film that you watch. You're not looking for a hidden meaning or a riddle or, some guy in a
maybe
room
you're right.
winking that no one really knows why he's doing it. Or
Maybe I can't watch normal films anymore.
Maybe.
I think I just would have wanted a few more, or just a bit more banter during the sword fight, even.
Well, it's like 6 minutes long, and they're talking for the entirety of it.
I'll talk some more. I don't know, because they were the sort of bits. I mean, the Billy Crystal bit was, and I forgot the lady's name now.
Carol Kane.
Carol Kane. That was all. That was okay, and and that's one of the good things with the director is he's very, we probably got that from his Spinal Tap days. He's happy to let people go off on one if they're with the character, and he trusts them to do that. Rob Reiner does, and he's done that in most of his films. So it comes, I'm just trying to pinpoint it myself now, what I could do to have improved it and shut you two up.
You can't improve on...
No, but in my opinion... No, like what would make me like it more, type thing.
Okay.
Cause what would have pushed it over the line. So I think a bit more banter, maybe a bit more. No, because the pirate bit was good. I'm just wondering if the lead was the weakest person in the film compared to all the other characters. Mr. Yules.
Elvis. Carrie
Elvis. I don't know, maybe a bit more.
He plays the part he's supposed to play. That's the thing about him.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm knocking him. I'm just saying. But the characters, because once he does his reveal, it's a bit redundant then, isn't it? I don't know, maybe would I have held that back a bit? Or would I have... Because then he does the death bit, comes back, and then says it at the end. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud.
Okay. Yeah.
Would you say that?
Would I say he was the weakest of the main characters? No.
He plays the part.
I mean, the most one-dimensional of the main characters,
maybe that's what I mean.
aside, is probably
Buttercup.
No, I don't think so.
Which is more than him.
Yeah, but I say the most one-dimensional, which is more likely to be the Spaniard. I don't know why I'm forgetting names of a film that I've watched at least
Montoya.
Twice every year. Yeah.
So I thought he had some of the better stuff.
It's better stuff, but if you're talking along the lines of like a more rounded, because Wesley is both Wesley and the Dread Pirate Roberts, and his motivations and all that stuff is clear, and it's more than just.
Yeah, but I think he was the one. I think once after the reveal though, I think he was the one I was least interested in.
Okay, interesting.
Because obviously, I was probably thinking, well, he's obviously going to save the gal, but what the other gun's up to? Like you kind of, because it is the fairy tale thing, you thought, well, he's bound to save her. But what's the other guy's up to? Oh, he's doing that. He's going to get the man to seek revenge. Is Andre the Giant still drunk? And there's, and Christopher Guest was just hamming it up as Rugen, or just not hamming it up, just charactering it up as Ruben, and you didn't know. I don't know. Because I think once you by the way, takes his Zorro mask off and it's like, it's me. Well, actually, no, she got it on what he said, didn't he?
As you wish.
As you wish. Yeah.
You wish.
And then you get Peter Cook randomly in the middle.
Marriage. The
Um,
blessed arrangement. So I promised myself I wouldn't go down the route of just quoting.
But I thought Mel Smith done a nice little turn in the middle. I think I said that earlier on. But yeah, I think maybe that was it. Maybe it's just because we focused on him. He was the one I was least interested in. I think after we found out who he was and the cool pirate story, because I liked that bit, and then it just became, he dies, comes back, and then you're just waiting for him to save the day. And I think I wanted to see other things, what the other ones are up to. I was more wanting to see Montoya get matey than I was him save the princess.
Yeah, but you do. You do see that.
No, that's it. But I wanted to see that more.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I was more interested in Montoya getting the six-fingered man than I was on him saving the princess. That was my interest went that way rather than that way, like a fork in the road.
Yeah, but like
you see both, but
yeah,
for
and
me,
as I said, there's not a lot of time elapsing between either of those two.
Oh yeah,
events.
no, I'm just saying. Out of if like say I could watch one bit, I was more interested in watching that bit than that bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Kinda.
I'm not saying one's better than the other, but that was the one I was more interested in. I think I liked him more. So I was like, right, is he going to get him then? And then rather than, well, he's bound to save her, and he, kind of thing.
Fair enough.
But what?
It's an interesting take.
There's just so many clever bits in that film. So it's almost too many to mention.
That's what we're here for.
But even little things like when he's dead, he's not dead. He's mostly dead. And then when he's coming back, they've got to rescue the princess. They've got a set amount of time because she's getting married, and as soon as she gets married, he's going to kill her off. But Carrie Ellis is paralyzed. So there's the whole thing about him having to try and save the day, but he's the brains of the operation. So it's like, well, I need a Holocaust cloak and a wheelbarrow and all this kind of good stuff. And then they manage to get in. He can't walk. So he's just like falling over a lot. Then he's in the bed. And what was it? The pain. Is it the pain?
Yeah, Humperdinck comes in and to the death. No, to the pain.
Yeah.
And then he keeps trying to second guess what he's going to say next. Yeah, I get it. They're on my ears. No, your ears you'll keep, and I'll tell you why. I won't go any further. As I said, I promised myself I wouldn't do that. But yeah, and you said he's paralyzed and he like moves his thumb, and it's like,
Yeah. Oh, well done.
Yeah.
I won't do it, Andre.
no, don't do it. But it's those little bits of humour,
Yeah.
and it's just that's the beat all the way through, as opposed to it's not gag after gag, or rather, it's not laugh out loud gag after gag like you get with the Mel Brooks parodies or the. I can't think
That's
of
what I'm
any
saying.
other
To me,
parodies now.
it just reminded me, and it's only because I can't think of another one. That's like it was that Three Amigos thing where it's set in that time. It was kind of funny. The jokes were in that area though. It wasn't anything existential like a Mel Brooks thing where all that is the orchestra walking past or anything like that. I was trying to think of another sort of set piece kind of thing like this where there is him, but I can't think of one. I'm sure there is. Scream.
Yeah.
There you go. Scream was a parody comedy, really, that no one got. But yeah, it's that sort of thing. And maybe I wanted a few more reference. Yeah, let's go with that. Maybe I needed a few more references and nods and winks to that, but without going through the fourth wall or whatever. That trying to sound like a knob. Yeah. Does that make more sense?
Kinda. I don't agree with you, but it kind of makes sense.
You don't have to agree with me, but look, for me, that would be maybe what I would say. Maybe a little.
I genuinely think it's because he didn't need his notebook while he was watching it.
Yeah.
He didn't need to write down stuff. He can't just enjoy a film.
I enjoyed Chippendale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah, no, you didn't. You just enjoyed more the references to Easter eggs in it, by sounds of it, as opposed to that as an actual film.
Maybe you crack me.
But isn't that what Marvel is? They're just films. You haven't got to think about them.
Well, don't forget the comic backstory that he's got in his loft and how it all ties together.
But as a film, they're all. In fact, they got the same sort of approach where, there's a bit of action, there's a bit of humour. It's supposed to be striking that balance between.
Yeah, but he's looking
what
at all the
kids can
references
watch.
to other films or other timelines or multiverses, isn't he?
That's what I
Which
do. That's my
did
daily.
exist before Marvel came along. I have to say.
He's not watching them as an action film. Oh my god! That was in like Spider-Man number 44. That's the reference to that poster in the background in Peter Parker's bedroom.
I'm not that.
Chowder.
You can be like that.
No, I, honestly, there's no rights or wrongs. Everyone has their opinion. You didn't say it was a bad film. I do think that for you, I think a lot of your film watching is tearing it apart, or those films that make you want to deconstruct them.
Oh, that's a fair comment. But again, also, if I'd watched it in 1987,
You might well have a different
different
opinion.
opinion,
I
yeah.
get that, but I don't think. Well, certainly from my perspective, it isn't just rose tinted glasses. There's a beat throughout the film
Yeah.
that resonates. I think whether I'd have watched it now or for the first time now, if you see what I mean. Just because of the way, because I like the humour, I like the cleverness of it. Where are you going?
just walked out. He's quit.
Yeah.
Okay, then no, but yeah, it was a good film. I wasn't like, oh god, I had to sit through that for 2 hours or anything like that. It was okay. That was all right.
Okay.
It was up tempo. It was it was enjoyable. Would I watch it again? Don't know, but it wasn't.
Maybe
like,
you should. Maybe now your expectation, because you must know it's in the ether, isn't it? That film is. It's not just me and Paul that.
Oh yeah,
that
I
have
mean
mentioned
it's
it
been
around
a
you.
it's been a huge film for years, and the amount of people that do the speech about
Hello,
killing your father.
my
and-
name is Inigo
yeah.
Montoya. You killed my father.
I had to
Prepare
actually
die.
answer that for someone at work a while ago because they were giving me the speech and they couldn't remember what film it was from. And I had to tell them, and I hadn't even seen it, so I know. Yeah. It's done the rounds.
So maybe if you rewatched it without that expectation, it might. You might see it in a
never
different
know,
light.
Yeah, it might be. I think I see it in the right light. I just think maybe that bit of me's dead now.
Yep.
I'm 45 and cynical now.
So am I.
Yeah, but you weren't when you let it in.
Not when I was 12 years old.
It's like Deathly Hallows Part 2, where Harry Potter's dead and he's in his mind, and there's Voldemort's shriveled body
Oh, yeah.
dying, and
Sure, Voldemort wiener.
yeah, that's your heart, that is. But hey,
It may be.
what other childhood classics can we destroy next
Yeah.
week?
Maybe that's it. That's
Willow next, is
yeah,
it?
I was just going to say it's Willow or Labyrinth or something like that.
Labyrinth I like.
Yeah.
Willow. I don't remember liking that as a kid, to be honest.
Anyway, before we digress too far, I guess we just draw a line. Let's
Yeah,
just
I
say
mean,
that was our spotlight.
I enjoyed it. It it was good. Fair play to you guys. I was respectful of your choice, and it was all right. Remember that when you slag mine off next. And yeah, I can see why it has a big following. They've just brought out action figures as well. I think didn't we? Wasn't that recent?
Yeah.
So obviously there's still money to be made on it, and the Ray Rob Reiner's going. You'll have a sequel soon. Because he's going back and making sequels to everything else he's made now.
Yeah, true. And they did their kind of retelling lockdown thing. I don't know if anyone ever saw that.
Oh yeah, I
rings
did
a
that. I
bell.
It's
did
an
see that.
online thing. Yeah. There apparently was talk of a remake a few years back, and I know Carrie Elwes tweeted something along the lines of there's a shortage of perfect films in this world. It would be such a shame to
That
ruin
was
this one
the
or something.
If I'm right, didn't Jamie Lee Curtis kick off about that?
Yeah.
As well? And she wasn't even in about it, it's her husband.
Yeah.
But like, even she, I can remember her ranting about it on something.
So don't send in hate mail for Brett. Everyone's entitled to an opinion. So yeah, we respect Brett's opinion.
Yeah, there may not be another podcast, but we respect his opinion. So that's it. Let's draw a line. Let's stop. I'm pleased that I managed to
You got me to
resist
watch
the
it.
urge to say inconceivable when he said that he wasn't overly impressed with it. I did that. So you have been listening to the Cult Faction Podcast, episode 60, Spotlight on Princess Bride. As always, don't forget to rate and review us on your preferred podcast app. If you want to get in contact with us, you can find us on Twitter. Alternatively, you can email us at
cultfactionpodcast@mail.com.
obviously our mothership, where everything Cult Faction-y resides.
Cultfaction.com.
Thank you, Mr. Summers. Check us out on TikTok. It's not been updated for a while. I'll get around to doing that at some point soon. In the meantime, you have been listening to me, Damien Hicks.
Me, Paul Hawkins.
And me, Brett Summers.
Good night.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
Think it'll work?
It would take a miracle.
Superman.
Some would say that was cheating. Yeah. Anything to be one take Hicks, eh?
Get ahead of the game.
I thought it was quite good.
In fact, let's take a break. I need a pill.
But he's stuck there now. Well, please don't die, Queen. Please don't die, Queen.
Yeah, it'd be forever.
If I've got to announce it where this time, I'm fucked forever.
They gave the monkey a microphone.
Dun, 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 dun. Boom, 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 boom.
Plug it out and plug it back in again, that's all. You can't fucking talk.
And mine's on. The answers are in the computer.
Are you going to do that whilst we're recording?
What's he doing?
That on the laptop.
Busted.